Scott, was there anything but disappointment in the change room after the defeat against Tottenham today?
No, disappointment is a word that's yeah, pretty fairly accurate in terms of describing what's happening, what's went on. A few frustrated lads in there, for sure. Nobody likes to be in the wrong end of a scoreline like that.
And obviously, some of those guys would have been looking to make a real impression that haven't had the game time and the minutes that they may well or have wanted to so far this season.
Yeah, I think we've used and made a few changes in terms of the starting lineup, and one or two have got some much needed minutes in the game, so that's positive from them. And there was moments in the game. There was some one or two bits in there which were pleasing, but just not consistent enough. And then they had a 10-minute spell where they were quite clinical in terms of the goals, in that early on in that second half, and all of a sudden the game run away from us, and then it's damage limitation more than anything, and people showing a bit of character and just hanging in there. So that was disappointing. That was disappointing because up to half time where the game's quite close and there's not a lot in it. And we're coming out second half. I even thought the first few minutes of the second half, I thought we'd done okay. And then a second goal goes in from them, and then quite quickly the game's run away from us, which can happen. And I thought they were showed a bit of quality around the box. Some of their finishing was really quite clinical. Possibly could have had a couple more. Tom's made a couple of saves as well. So that's disappointment in terms of the whole evening altogether. We'll hang on to the fact that we've got to get better. I'm sure individuals will be disappointed at this moment in time. We've got two more games in this competition, so a few more of them are going to get game time and appearances again in that. And we want to make sure that next time we turn up, we will make a better account of ourselves.
Yeah, and it seems strange to say, but could it have been a lot different if we do get that equaliser just before half time, where Tom Popper's denied by a great save and the woodwork?
Yeah, it was really unfortunate. I don't know how it stayed out. It was a really good header. And as you say, yeah, we go in and it's one each. It's a different game altogether, But it is what it is. Well, that didn't go in, and we've got to show a bit of resilience, in these moments when you're up against it a little bit, dig in, get together, get compact, get bodies in front of the ball a little, and work hard for each other, and then just get a foothold in the game again, rather than letting it get run away from us like it did in that 10-minute spell, which can happen when you've got one or two guys with a little bit of quality in and around the box, which they showed tonight.
Yeah, and it was good to see Tom Hopper being back from injury and get almost an hour under his belt, as did another two or three players that you as a management staff would have felt that they needed at this stage of the season.
Yeah, I think that's right. It was good to get Hopes back out in the grass again in terms of match time and a competitive environment in terms of the game. It's a lot to ask of him to expect. He's only had a couple of training sessions as well, so he's done well to get an hour under his belt and get going again. And another bit for Jay as well, who's coming back into the frame and still not quite up to speed, but showed some good glimpses out there.
Yeah, and will it be a difficult task or a relatively easy task to kind of maybe lift the players is the wrong phrase, but to lift these guys that would have been wanting to make an impression, haven't quite done that this evening, but we will still probably need almost all of them at some stage between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, of course. I don't think it's a case of lifting them at all. It's my experience is when you get a day like this, you want to get back out in the grass and training again straight away and get it out of your system, and get back to work. That's the way football is. And that's the good thing about the game. There's always the next game is coming around the corner quickly, so you get a chance to respond and show a bit of character and how you're going to pitch up, how you're going to be around the dressing room, how you're going to be around the club, and go and create a positive image of yourself, and be a good professional and be ready to do the right thing the next time an opportunity presents itself.